just class switch
Yeah,
without having to
you
make
could.
another
You
fucking
have
character.
you have your one character, and you can be the jack of all trades
Hmm.
and master them all
Yeah,
because you're not bound to a fucking job
and it
class.
looks better. Like it looks. I think Final Fantasy 14 looks so much better than WoW,
I
even modern
agree,
WoW.
but I mean, people make the comparisons like, do you want it to look pretty or do you want it to be fast paced?
Hmm.
Because modern WoW is significantly faster than Final Fantasy 14. I think that the global cooldown for WoW is a second, whereas Final Fantasy is like 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, but also a lot of modern WoW is just it's become a job. You log in, do
Hmm.
your dailies. If it's not raid day, then fuck it. And it's all like so with the original WoW, and I don't know if I can talk so much for Final Fantasy 14, but there's a lot of customization with talent trees and shit like that. In modern WoW, it's very cookie cutter. If you're not running this specific arcane mage build, you're not going to get top DPS, or you're
Right.
not going to do this. So
From what I remember, Final Fantasy was the same way. Final Fantasy is very much influenced by the equipment that you had on
mhm.
you.
Yep.
And in order for you to get the high end equipment, you had to get like these tokens or these marks. And the marks were dependent on, I think it was based on off of what faction that you were a part of. So you can get a maximum of 450 marks per week. And after that, there was no point in you playing until the next week
Yeah.
comes around.
WoW
So
had
people
WoW
would,
had that stuff too.
yeah. So people would get together and do some of the major bosses or the major instances, or, they'll try to get people together for raids
Hmm.
and just collect their marks so that they collect their marks, they get the better gear, they can go to the higher leveled areas and shit like that.
Right.
So that's part of the reason why I decided I'm probably not going to jump into another MMO anytime soon, unless I'm like with a close group of friends, because it can feel very monotonous over time.
Yeah, I think, and that's what happens with WoW too. After a while, especially when I went back with Legion and I went back with Battle for Azeroth, I wasn't
Hmm.
really in a guild. I wasn't raiding. I was just logging in, doing shit, and then I was just like, all right, I'm bored. I'm done. So,
Yeah.
but let's just say if you were to get in, if you were to start playing Final Fantasy 14, I would start playing Final Fantasy 14 as well.
This new expansion, and I said this for Heaven's Ward, but this new expansion really looks
Cool,
cool.
does it? I don't know
Like
anything
it
about it,
appeals to
so
me.
I think my
I just like
character
the
just hit Heaven's Ward.
like I'm not even up to Heaven's Ward, but I just think that the aesthetic of the way that everything looks really appeals to me because I'm a closet edgelord. So I love like the Dark Knight-esque aesthetic.
Oh yeah,
I'm all about that shit. But
yeah.
the thing is that I have been so burnt out by the 4 or 5 months that I played Heaven's Ward, or not Heaven's Ward, Final Fantasy 14,
Hmm.
that it's just I have very little desire to continue, because one of the biggest things that interests me, that gets me into shit like this,
Right,
comes down to story.
right.
And I remember the very last boss in base 14. I forget the name of it, but it was like the general motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I wanted to watch the entire cutscene, and I did. And apparently that was the wrong thing to do,
Oh.
because everybody else skipped the cutscene and they went straight in for the attack. And when my cutscene ended, everyone had been fighting this thing for about a good 5 minutes. And I
Yeah.
see in the chat log, yo, we're going to kick this fucking bitch if he doesn't start fighting. And I'm like, no,
No.
wait, wait.
I was immersed. uh yeah, apparently like after that, like the story ramps up really hard in a Heaven's Ward and what was it? Stormblood?
Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, and now Shadowbringers.
Yeah. So I don't know. I might try it out. It is I mean you do have to commit to the $15. So but I mean I could play it, but that's the problem. I just don't know if I would play it nonstop. But the good thing about it is if I wanted to play it on, I would obviously play it on PC. But
Mhm.
at some point, I remember when I was playing it last time, I didn't have a big gaming PC like this. I just had my laptop. but I had a PS4. I had two. Me and my wife lived in a one bed. Like we lived in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, but we also lived with 3 other people. So there was 5
I've
people.
done that.
Yeah.
I've done.
So we basically lived out of our bedroom.
Right.
And we had a TV up on the wall, which my wife would watch, and then we had a TV over on like our bookshelf, which is where I would play my PS4. And I would just wear my headphones. So I was playing a lot of Final Fantasy on the PlayStation 4. I am so surprised. Like that game handles so well on controller. And
Yeah,
it's
it
so
does.
weird to have an MMO control that
That
well.
was like the exclusive way my wife played when we all played. So back in, I want to say that we got into Final Fantasy 14 back in 2013.
Yeah,
It was
2013. Yeah.
It was before I moved into North Carolina, and the entire house played. It was me, my wife, and my 2 roommates. We were all in like a guild, not a guild, but we were like our own guild, so to say.
Yeah.
And we played that for hours, and that's how we leveled up. I would be the tank. I was like a marauder. Tiff was a
Marauders are so fun.
Yeah, she was a dragoon. The most seasoned player that was like all about the MMOs and shit like that. We made him our healer bitch. And then the other guy, I think he was like a pugilist or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, the monk and all that shit. Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with it. Like I seriously enjoyed Final Fantasy 14. I just think that once I completed base game, I was so burnt out from the hours that I spent playing that I'm just like, I need to step away.
Yeah.
I just need to get away from them.
Yeah. I don't know. I might pick it back up, especially I think work is calming down just a hair. So maybe next week I'll have some more time. But I don't know. I logged into I hadn't turned my PlayStation 4 on in like a week. And I don't know why I turned it on. But I was like, oh shit, Sonic Mania is one of the PlayStation Plus games this month.
Yeah.
So, and I have it on Switch and PC. And I was like, I'm going to play it. And I ended up playing it for like an hour and a half. Just playing it. Because surprisingly enough, it's not the levels so much that I like. It's the bonus levels. It's the music and the bonus levels that I like. Like
which bonus levels?
So it was originally in Sonic 3 where those were the Chaos Emerald ones, but now they've made those the ring ones. So if you get
tokens.
50,
I think they're tokens.
They're tokens. Yeah, you get the golden tokens. And I love doing those. I love the music in those, and the animations look great in it. And
people hate the fucking blue sphere mini games. I love them.
They're great.
Yeah. No, people fucking hate that shit.
I like the Sonic R running one too.
I hate that one.
Really?
So fucking much.
That one's fun. I like it.
No, it's not. It is so rage inducing on my end because when I played not the Sonic R, Sonic CD, when I played Sonic CD and I was getting the fucking time stones, I hated I have no depth perception.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Since everything is already flat, I'm like constantly jumping to get the rings or get the UFOs, and I always fail. It is so infuriating when I go back and try to get all the time stones.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Going back to getting the emeralds for the Sonic Mania game, it reminds me of that shit, and it's so fucking annoying because no matter who you play, the controls are so fucking tight that I'm just like, turn, bitch, turn.
So
and it just does not.
I was gonna ask, is that how Sonic R controls? Is those controls?
Yes.
It's really so like when you turn, you're gonna turn, but it's gonna take a minute.
Yes.
Oh.
And you'll just like in Sonic R, at least if I run into a fucking wall, I can just kind of like, okay, I may not have any momentum, but I can fucking turn. No, here, just bye, go off the fucking rail. You lose. And it's always after I've hit second gear or third gear, and I'm like trying to chase down the emerald, and that bitch is fast.
It is.
That bitch is always fast, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
That's Sonic Mania is still great. It's so fucking good.
I love that fucking game.
That game's so good. One of the reasons I loaded up, I was playing Sonic and Knuckles on Steam the other night. And one of the reasons I was playing that was because you asked me, do you have Sonic R or do you have the gem collection and all that stuff? And I was like, shit, no, I don't have it. Because Scotty was from Megavisions was streaming Sonic R. And I was watching him. I was like, I want to play this. And I realized I didn't have it. And then after a while, I was like, I don't know if I want to play this anymore.
Oh, that game is trash.
Because apparently we're gonna play it at Too Many Games. I
We are
think
playing
Scotty's
that shit
bringing
at
it
too
up.
many games.
So
We're playing that too many
I'm gonna need
games.
some booze before I play that one.
Yeah. Booze,
Dude,
some
if
really
you
shitty
get
music.
me enough booze, and and Scotty is able to get Supersonic, and we play Radiant Emerald, and that song's singing, I'll start singing that song if I'm drinking. It was funny because the reason I started drinking yesterday is because I was uptight from work. I was so stressed.
Yeah.
I was like, I just need to unwind. Like my wife had called me and I snapped on her and I was like, yeah, I got to do something. So she came home and she was pissed at me still because that woman knows how to hold a grudge. I love her to death, but dear God. And she comes
cold
home.
shoulder.
Oh yeah, and I come home and she's trying to cold shoulder me so hard, but I am buzzed out my fucking mind and I'm just acting goofy and just all that. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm loving you." And she's like, "You're drunk." I was like, "No, I'm not." She goes, "I smell it." I was like, "Well, I'm going back out to my office." And that's when I played WoW for 3 hours.
Nice.
Yeah, so speaking of streams, like that's what I've been really doing all week. It's just kind of lurking in streams, just watching, just kind of chilling and all that. I was yesterday. I jumped over because H2O is always in my streams. H2O Happy Dude is a gentleman in our Discord. He comes into every one of our streams like all the time.
Yep.
And I felt bad because I had never gone into one of his streams. And I was like, shit, I need to go and just pay him a visit. I think it's the last day of his, he was sponsored by Wizards of the Coast this week, and he was giving away free packs and stuff like that. And I get in his stream, and we're kind of chilling. I didn't know I was a mod. Apparently, I'm a mod in his channel. So,
Okay.
He said something. He was like, "Hey, can you handle that?" And I was like, "The fuck? Did I clock in?" And I look at my name on Twitch, and I was like, "Oh shit, I got the moderator sword." So, all right, yeah, I'll take care of this. So I was like, "Yeah, send me those codes. I'll get them to this guy and all that stuff." And
Nice.
so we're sitting there, and he's officially sponsored by Wizards of the Coast for this week, and he gets a raid of 1,700 people.
That's insane.
He was raided by one of the Wizards of the Coast people that were streaming, and they raided him. And dude, it was so awesome because like he broke down and cried. Like I'm not making fun of him. Like it's so awesome that he got so happy like that happened to him. Like then
I gotta go back and see the VOD.
Dude, the follows
I
and
need to go back and see
like
the VOD.
follows were going nuts after that. Like I went ahead and I had my Twitch Prime, so I went ahead because I'm really bad about just subbing to channels, and then next thing I know I'm up to like $75 in subs, and I'm like shit.
Yeah. No,
So,
that shit happened to me too.
I've cut myself down to only subbing with my Prime. Or if I really need to, I'll pop another one off. But I gave him my Prime sub. I gave him a follow and all that stuff. I was a mod before even following. So
Nice.
That's pretty funny. But shout outs to him. I think he ended his stream with especially after raids, not everybody's going to stay on. That's just how it is.
Right.
But he got down to about 200 people, which is still more than you and I have ever seen in our streams. So, and then he went and raided his buddy. I think his name, I can't remember what his buddy's name was, but it's just, that's the mentality that Twitch makes me love, is like just seeing people get raided, the appreciation and all that, and then just passing it along. Like, that's what's awesome.